In this video, we're going to be covering the 5 mistakes that people make when buying a property. Okay, brilliant. So here's the thing. A lot of people, when buying properties, tend to make exactly the same mistakes. Now, look, this tends to be first-time buyers, but also a lot of investors do make these mistakes as well. First-time investors not really understanding exactly what everything takes to get a property from scratch and actually to the other end as well. And by the time we get to the end of the video, hopefully you will be a part of the few people who actually understand exactly what you need to do, avoid this mistake so you can get a much more seamless process. So let's get into it. What is the very first mistake that you need to be avoiding? Not researching the location. Now this, once again, very, very simple. It sounds very, very logical, but a lot of people, you see a property, it's been sexed up by the agent. Oh, this is a great property, it's a great investment, you must do this. And then you just go into it blindly, not understanding this person has got their own agenda. They are an agent and their job is to sell this property. So for your job is to make sure that you're buying the best property for yourself. So irrespective of what anyone else is saying, completely ignore everything they're saying and do your own research. And you know what? In the end, if you find out that they're right, then brilliant. But you've got to understand the neighborhood that you're going into. First of all, if it's an investment, is it a great location? For an investment, who are the people who are going to be moving into this property? If you're buying a property and you want to target family members, and this is a flat in the city center, it's probably not going to be conducive or appeal to family people who've got kids that want a garden, that want their kids to be running around the garden. A flat in the middle of a city center is probably not going to appeal to those people. And there's nothing wrong with a flat in the middle of the city center. If you're appealing to, young, vibrant professionals, brilliant, perfect investment. So understanding, who's in that neighborhood, what are the amenities around that neighborhood, who is it going to appeal to, will give you an understanding as to who your end user is going to be, which will give you an understanding as to whether those are the people that you're actually looking to rent your property out to. And then if it's for your own home, then once again, you need to understand what's around you. What kind of schools are going to be there? Is this something that's important to you? And the key things that are important to you, are they actually close by? Are they at a close enough distance? And if they're not, then once again, it's probably not the property they should be looking at. And if they are, this is where when you're making offers, you can then be a little bit more bullish or a little less bullish, depending on, how hot all of the things that you need ticked off needs to be. But if you're not doing this research in the first place, then you're not even going to have, these parameters to actually play around. So that's the first one. The second one is really failing to understand the ongoing expenses. Buying property is not just how much it's going to cost you to actually buy the property, like this is the cash I'm putting down to buy the property. There are many different factors, that as a homeowner or as an investor that you need to factor in as well. Like insurances, the taxes, stamp duty on that, maintenance expenses, ongoing things. So these are all things that you've got to be factoring, the professional fees that you've got to factor in. So when you're thinking, oh, I've got this deposit, this is the 25% or this is the 5%, the 10% that I need to put down. Well, hang on. If that's all you've got, who's going to pay the professional fees? Who's going to pay the stamp duty fees and all these other things? And as a result of that, you end up, going through a process where you're now really, pissing off the professionals you're working with, because now you get to the end and they realize you can't do the deal. You're just going to go to the bottom of the list and they don't really want to work with you moving forward because you're not professional enough and you've just wasted everybody's time. So understanding all of these things is super important as a homeowner, but also as an investor, because as an investor, especially when you're starting out, you want really strong, solid relationship with agents and professionals. And once you start doing things like that, all of a sudden, they just put you to the back of the list. And then the next one, number 3, is just kind of skipping, the actual viewings or the inspections. Like when you're viewing a property, you need to be really, really viewing that property, because you could end up buying something and straight away having to put in money that maybe you hadn't anticipated or you haven't actually got in the first place. As an investor, oftentimes you're going to be buying a property that you need to add some value to, you need to do some work to, and that's fine if you understand that. But even then, more important to make sure you're looking at everything, because then you can factor in the work you need to do into your offer. And if by any chance you miss something that is going to cost you potentially tens of thousands of pounds, that's massively going to affect the value of that property. And if you've based the value on that property, what you offered, without factoring in this extra money that is going to cost you, now all of a sudden you're going into a property with negative equity, and that is not where anyone wants to be starting off at. So make sure when you're viewing the property, you've literally got a list of everything that you need to be looking at, so that way you know you're not missing anything and you're ticking it off and you're writing your notes. Be professional. Even the agents that's taking you on that view, and when they see how professional you are, all of a sudden they're going to look at you differently and they're going to respect you more and say, okay, this is someone who's serious, this is someone who is a professional, and this is somebody that I actually want to be working with. Because you know what does an agent want? Commissions. And if they know you're serious, they know you're always going to keep buying, and they're always going to keep making commissions from you. So don't feel, that you might look a little bit silly. No, it's the complete opposite. I used to be an agent, and we would 100% respect that. Point number 4, it's not negotiating a better price. You've always got to negotiate a better price. Look, you're not working for the seller, right? You're working for yourself. The seller and the agent are always going to want the best price for the seller. What you want is the best price for you. So don't be Mr. Nice Guy or Mr. Nice Lady about this stuff. Like, always drop another price in there. Always offer something else. Like, it doesn't matter, even if you think it's a fair price, always offer something else. You don't know what they're comfortable with. They might just throw a number out there, and they're saying they're going, oh my God, I can't believe they accepted that. This is brilliant. You know what I'm saying? We've not got a few extra £1,000 in the bank because this person did not even negotiate. You never know what's possible. You always have to just throw that little extra in. You know you're already comfortable paying, whatever you're comfortable paying. So even if it comes back, you're like, oh, okay, well, nothing ventured, nothing gained, right? So it's like, well, I'm happy to pay this anyway, but let me just find out where we can actually go. How low can we actually go? So make sure you are always offering something else. And then the 5th mistake people tend to make is not actually getting pre-approved for a mortgage. Once again, this can really rub agents up the wrong way. Like, just get pre-approved. Even apart from rubbing them up the wrong way, they just, the right agents would want to see a pre-approval from a mortgage lender before even dealing with you, because otherwise they could be wasting their time. They could have done all of this work. Also remember, agents have got relationship with the sellers that they're also trying to nurture and maintain. And now they could have gone through all of this process, with not just yourself, but also with that seller, and then get to the end and realize this person is not even going to get approved for the mortgage. And you have wasted everyone else's time. They've battered their way over offers. They've put all the eggs into your basket, and then now you have let them down. Just imagine how that agent is going to feel and how that agent is going to want to work with you moving forward. But also the reality is you probably will just be wasting your time, because competent, good agents that you want to be working with, they're going to be asking you for this stuff right from the very start. And if you haven't got it, you're just prolonging the timeline of which is going to take you to actually get onto the market. And in that timeline, you could be losing out on potential deals that would have been great deals that you've now missed out on because you're not ready. So these are 5 crucially important points and 5 mistakes that a lot of people tend to make when they're buying a property. And now that you've watched this video, I know for a fact that you are not going to make the same mistake. So look, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you click the like button, comment below, let me know of any crazy mistakes that you've actually seen people make. How much did it cost them? Or maybe you were the one that made the mistake and now you've learned a big lesson from it. Put in the comments below exactly what that was, or if you've got any tips that can really help the community as well, don't feel free to put that in the comment section as well. And do not forget to subscribe so we can get this message out to as many people as possible, and also hit that bell button so whenever the new videos come out, you get notified straight away. And I will see you all on the next video.